Hey, welcome back. Today, we're taking a closer look at a major story featured on the front page of Seoul Economic Daily.
Yeah, and this one is pretty intense.
It really is. We're decoding these big economic signals today to show you folks how macro pressures are, completely changing Korean wallets.
Right, and it's driving both the government and everyday citizens to take some, well, really unprecedented financial actions.
Exactly. So let's just jump right into this massive government relief response. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're looking at a 25 trillion won supplementary budget, right?
Yep, 25 trillion. And that's primarily driven by the whole US-Iran war and these crazy high oil
But
prices.
you're hitting everyone hard.
For sure. Plus, Qatar Energy just declared force majeure on their LNG supply to Korea, so
Wait, force majeure, so they're basically like legally backing out of their contract to supply gas.
exactly. They are legally halting shipments because of unforeseeable circumstances, and that is just skyrocketing energy anxiety here.
Wow, so it's like the government is handing out financial umbrellas right as a macroeconomic hurricane makes landfall.
That's a great way to put it. So, to counter this, they're rolling out relief, like expanding the K-Pass transit card to 13 to 18-year-olds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they're raising the refund limit to 60 times, or up to 200,000 won.
That's huge for commuters. And they're doing livelihood support too, right?
Right, via local currency for vulnerable groups earning under 1.28 million won a month.
I see.
And they're even tacking on an extra 30,000 to 50,000 won bonus for folks in non-capital and depopulating areas.
Ah, keeping the local economies afloat. But man, this financial squeeze is making everyday citizens so vulnerable, which brings us to a massive spike in economic exploitation.
Yeah, the data here is actually terrifying.
I was looking at the numbers obtained by Representative Heo Young. Voice phishing accounts skyrocketed by 42.1% last year,
Right, crossing the 100,000 mark for the first time.
which is wild. It hit 102,131. And if you include investment fraud, it jumps to 131,156.
And it's not just the usual phishing calls anymore. Scammers are using this vicious new account freezing tactic.
Oh, right. I read about this. How does that work exactly?
So, scammers will randomly wire a really small amount of money to your account.
Okay.
Then they falsely report it to the authorities as fraud. And under current laws, the bank instantly freezes your entire account.
Just from that one tiny deposit.
Yep. Then the scammer contacts you, demanding a ransom to drop the fake report so you can get your money back.
Wait, really? The government keeps announcing crackdowns, but a 42% jump means the criminals are innovating way faster than the regulators. Are our existing defenses just obsolete?
It definitely exposes a massive flaw. I mean, the laws meant to protect victims are literally being weaponized against them.
That is so frustrating. And it's not just scammers taking huge risks right now. Everyday retail investors are making their own extreme bets to try and beat this anxiety.
Oh, absolutely. Retail investors poured a staggering 3.13 trillion won into leverage ETFs in just 1 month.
3 trillion in 1 month.
Yeah, driven by FOMO. People are treating the market drop as this huge buying opportunity.
But the volatility is insane right now. There have been 10 sidecar halts this month alone.
Right, 10 pauses in trading because prices are crashing too fast.
Isn't throwing 3 trillion won into leverage during a market with 10 sidecar halts basically like trying to catch a falling knife blindfolded?
It's incredibly risky. Leverage multiplies your gains, but it ruthlessly multiplies your losses.
Yeah. And while everyday folks are making these wild bets, the government is quietly doing the exact opposite to play it safe.
Exactly. Look at the Korea Deposit Insurance Corporation, or KDIC.
Right.
They plan to sell their entire 10% stake in Hanwha Life Insurance this year.
At what, like 5,001 per share?
Yep, aiming to recover 434.3 billion won.
So why are they cashing out now?
Because the Deposit Insurance Fund bond repayment fund expires next year with no extension. The government has to balance its books now, so they're liquidating long-term assets to be safe.
Wow. Which leaves us with a really provocative thought for you listeners. If the government is carefully and safely cashing out to meet its hard deadlines, should retail investors really be doubling down on high-risk leverage in the same market?
That is the multi-trillion won question for sure.
All right, that's our deep dive on the Korean economy for today. We'll catch you next time with more stories from the Korean economy. Thanks for tuning in to the Korea Economy Brief front page of Seoul Economic Daily News.